So we'll start out today in a reclined posture with the soles of the feet together, knees splayed out, and lying on your back. And if it's easier to lie on your back and then bring the soles of your feet together, that's okay too. Now, if having your feet together and your knees out like that isn't comfortable, you could instead just rest the soles of your feet on the ground and let your knees maybe lean in towards each other. It's a little easier on the hips. And your hands could rest on the floor outside your hips, or they might rest on your body, maybe on your belly to feel your breath, or on your chest to feel your heart. Notice your breathing. Allow time for it to just slow down and get deeper. As we arrive on our mats, we start to arrive in this practicing state, this focusing inward. Closing the eyes can be helpful to reduce possible distractions. Observe the movements of your breathing and the way those movements feel in your body. And notice whatever other sensations are present for you. Notice whatever there is to notice. Check in with your body to see how everything's feeling. Particularly noting if anything doesn't feel so great. Anything that you deem negative, stiffness or soreness. Making note of it so that you can keep it in mind during practice and take care of it. Exercising the option to skip or modify any part of what we're doing. As long as you keep breathing, everything else is optional. And when your mind wanders, as it always does, it's just one of the things our minds do, gently bring your focus back to your breathing, back to this noticing stance, cultivating what we call in yoga the witness self, where you're observing yourself. And it doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders and has to be redirected, just be gentle about it, don't beat yourself up. Always coming back to your breath, back to noticing what's going on in your body, taking care of yourself, finding the practice that's best for you. And maybe there's something more personal, more specific to you that you'd like to set as an intention for your practice this morning. If so, let that intention solidify and sink in for a few breaths. And before we start moving around, let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth with a sighing sound. And by the way, if during practice you ever find that you're getting too warm, you can release excess internal heat by exhaling through your mouth. So keep that in mind if you start to heat up. Mouth exhales can help lower your temperature. So to come out of this opening posture, use your arms to help your legs. Bring your hands to the outside of your legs and nudge your knees towards each other. Bring the soles of your feet onto the mat. Cross your left ankle above your right knee. Make a figure 4 shape with your legs. Reach your arms out to the sides. Arms straight out, or if there isn't room on one side, you might bend your elbow. Feel your shoulder blades press to the ground. Let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Letting your shoulders stay grounded, not worrying about how far your legs go. Just letting your breath bring you out in the twist. Slowly come back up to center. Cross your legs the other way, right ankle over left knee. Let your legs go to the left and turn your head to the right. Come on back up to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest and rock side to side or roll in circles. Massage your back against the ground. And start to rock front to back. Roll your spine along the ground. If that doesn't feel good for you, you could tip onto one hip and spin yourself up to a seat. After a few more rocks, I'll stomp and sit up. For me, the rocking feels really good, but not for everyone. Feel into the grounding contact with the floor. Think of the length of your spine. Imagine the crown of your head continually reaching up towards the ceiling. Sitting tall, but not stiff or rigid. Rest your hands at your sides, fingertips on the floor so the spine stays long. Inhale, reach your left arm up like you want to tap the ceiling. Exhale, reach across to the right. Feel for lengthening all the way from your left hip up through your left fingertips. Inhale to come upright. As you exhale, bring your left hand down to the floor behind you. Bring your right hand over to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, invite your body to twist some more. And just explore that with each breath. See if there's a little further to go on the exhales. Let yourself unwind. And inhale, raise your right arm. Exhale, reach across to the left. Inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, come into your other twist. Right hand to the floor behind you. Left hand to your right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Unwind, come back through center. And make your way up onto your hands and knees. Maybe just tip to one side and spin around. Open your hands way up. Use your whole palms to grab the floor. Bring your shoulders above your wrists. Bring your hips above your knees. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhaling, bring your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. Follow the pace of your breathing. We don't have to go at the same speed. After your next exhale, come back to table with your back parallel to the ground. Reach your right foot back and press into the ball of your foot. Push your heel out away from your tailbone. Let that leg get longer for a couple breaths. Opening your hip up. Ease off the pressure on your foot and then bring your foot out to the side so it's in line with your hip. We're going to explore some rocking movement here, starting out small because it's easy to overdo. Exhale, sit back a little, and inhale, come forward. So a little goes a long way. Just feel out how much seems like enough for you. Pay particular attention to the sensation on this inner right thigh. That's where it's easiest to overdo right there. So as much or as little rocking as feels okay for you. And you might feel this stretching in a lot of different spots. Sacrum, outer hip, outsides of the knee. Next time you rock forward, pause there. And we'll go a little further. Walk your hands forward as far as you can, pretty much. And then let your head come down between your arms. So this is sort of like downward facing dog in the upper body. And you're going to scoop your hands over to the left. Think of sending your left hip an inch or two towards your left heel. Give a little push into your hands. Walk your hands back to center line and back in under your shoulders. Sweep your foot back. Bring your knee down again. We'll do the other side. I need to turn myself around just because I'm next to the wall. So I'll keep doing that throughout practice. Reach your left foot back. Press into the ball of your foot and take a couple breaths. Ease off the pressure on your foot. Slide it out to the side in line with your hip. Start to explore that rocking. Remember to start small. Exhale, sit back a little. Inhale, glide forward. Often one side is tighter than the other. But to look at it another way, one side is more open and easier to move. Just respect those differences. It's okay to explore against tension and resistance. We don't want to try to push through pain. You want to back away from it as an important signal your body is sending to you. When you rock forward again, shoulders above wrists, pause with the rocking. Walk your hands forward. Release your neck, let your head come down between your arms. Scoot your hands over to the right. And give that little push into your hands. Walk your hands back to center and back in towards you. Slide your foot back out behind you and bring your knee down again. And we'll start to stand. Step your right foot up between your hands. Step your left foot up to meet it and hang out in forward fold. So we'll only go halfway to standing at first. Let your head and your arms hang heavy. Explore bending and straightening your legs, swaying back and forth. Gently shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Inhale, lift up halfway, press your hands to the front of your legs, and push. Help the crown of your head reach forward away from your tailbone. Good. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll up to standing, hands up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And let your hands hang at your sides. Lift your right shoulder up towards your ear. Shift it back and let it down. And your left shoulder up towards your ear, back and down. Inhale, reach out toward the walls. As you exhale, hug yourself and grab your shoulder blades, or if you want, you could take eagle arms. Twine your arms together, press your palms together. If you do the eagle arms, you can extend, reach your elbows and hands up and out, away from you. Inhaling, spread your wings. As you exhale, cross your arms the other way, grabbing your shoulder blades or taking eagle arms. Inhale, spread your wings. Exhale, let your arms down. Inhale your arms out and up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Flip your palms up towards the ceiling. And look up at your hands and lift up your heart. If there's room, maybe your hips drift forward a little. Maybe your head and your hands drift back some more. With an inhale, come upright again. As you exhale, bend to the left. Feel for length through both arms. Try not to let your right shoulder curl forward past your ear, or let your right heel lift away from the floor. Inhale to come up, and exhale to bend to the right. Inhale to come up, and exhale to let your arms come down. And I'm just going to turn, reorient on my mat. So if you're using a mat, come to the top end of the mat. And we'll flow through a few sun salutation series. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, soft knees. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Plant your hands and step back to plank. Let your hips settle down in line with your shoulders and your heels. Or if you opt for a shorter plank, your shoulders and knees. And always do a shorter plank when you want to. And on this first one, we'll go all the way down, keeping your elbows in close. Exhale and lower down to the floor as slowly as you can. Let everything down, belly touches down, knees, uncurl your toes, even rest your chin. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your head and chest to whatever height feels okay for you and your low back. So maybe it's way down here. As your low back opens up, we go through a couple more repetitions. Maybe you're up here. Eventually, maybe you're in upward facing dog with your knees lifted. Now for the first downward facing dog, nice gentle transition. We'll rock back up to table on hands and knees. Then curl your toes under. Press into your feet to lift your knees. And then press into your hands to lift your tail. Downward facing dog. And walk the dog, pedal your feet up and down. Letting everything in the back of the body lengthen. Heels getting closer and closer to the floor. Maybe they touch down. Maybe they don't. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop forward. Bring your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, all the way up, hands overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And we'll go through that 2 more times. A little quicker, a little more continuous and fluid now. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale down. Plant your hands and step back to your plank. On an exhale, lower halfway down this time, maybe elbows in, drop your knees if you want. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Exhale, back it up to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up, hands overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Once more, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale down. Plant your hands and step back to your plank. On an exhale, lower halfway, elbows in. Inhale, bring your heart forward, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, back and up to downward dog. Let's take 3 of those cleansing breaths here and down dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale to bring your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Step your right foot back and plant the ball of your foot. Find a high lunge. All 10 toes pointing in the same direction. If the high lunge is too much, you can always drop the back knee and uncurl the back toes and stay down there. So that option is there. Keep that in mind. We're going to rock in the hips like this. Exhale, sink forward in the hips. Inhale, glide back up. And you can add an arm movement. As you come forward, draw your arms down. As you go back and up, lift your arms. Exhale, forward, down. Inhale, back and up. Arms can be parallel to the floor as they come down. You can always bring one hand to your knee to steady you if you feel too wobbly. And be mindful of the front knee. You want to keep it above your ankle or behind, not send it forward past your knee because you can hyperextend your knee. So if this front knee is going forward past the ankle, scoot the foot forward and give you more room. We protect our knees. Let's twist. Reach your left hand forward, reach your right hand back, then twist to the right. And see how I almost fell over? That happens. Part of improving balance is sometimes falling. Come back through center, and then twist to the left. Come back through center. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a big push off that back foot and step forward. Good. Step your left foot back. Find your lunge. Find steadiness in your feet before reaching the arms up and starting to rock back and forth. When you're steady, bring your arms up. Exhale, sink forward, arms down. Inhale, glide up. Some people even will reach their arms forward instead of out to the side. You can do that too. Lots of options. This one, I find this makes me more wobbly. I'm doing it now because I've set myself up so close to the wall. I don't want to knock a picture off the wall by bringing my arms out to the side. Me adjusting to a new setup here. And let's twist to the left. Come back through center. And twist to the right. Come back through center. Bring your hands to your heart. And take that big step forward. Good. Grab a drink of water whenever you need one. I need one right now. A little sip to wet my whistle. Okay, and let's play around with some balances. See about maybe standing on one leg. When you're ready, bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight from one leg to the other. If you've got a lot of padding underfoot, the less padding you have, the better you'll be. So sometimes you get these thick mats, and they're great when you're kneeling on them or sitting on them. But when you go to stand on them, a thick mat is a handicap. So feel free to step off your mat and have less padding underfoot, depending on what you're standing on. I won't step closer because then you can't see my feet. When you're ready, drop all the weight into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. Maybe your thigh comes parallel to the floor. Think of opening a door. Bring your knee out to the side. And then you're going to bring that foot to your left leg. So it might be down here, toes on the ground and heel on your ankle. Knee is tracking out to the side here. Hands pressing to the sternum. Pressing together. You might bring the sole of your foot onto your calf. And certainly you can put your foot down and pick it up however many times you need to. You might put the sole of your foot on your thigh, but never on your knee, please. Your knee doesn't want to go that way. And your hands can stay right here for steadiness, or you can explore other expressions. Let the branches of your tree grow out wherever they want. And maybe there's breeze in your branches, and maybe your tree is more still. Maybe you're a dancing tree. And anytime you can put your foot down and pick it up again. If you set your eyes on something straight ahead that's not going to move, that can help steady you. So, drishti, your gaze point, and your gaze can help anchor you. If you close your eyes, most of us get a windstorm when we close our eyes. It's very unsteady. Excellent. Bring your hands back to your heart. Pivot your knee forward. And let your foot down. Shake out the leg you were standing on. And anything else that fancies shake. Inevitably, the shaking involves a little dancing for some of us. When you're ready, bring your hands back to your heart. Shift your weight from one leg to the other, feet on the ground. Resetting everything. Do that as many times as you like. When you're ready, drop the weight into your right leg. Let that knee stay soft and responsive. Pick up your left knee. Big opening and gate. Bring your knee out to the side. And then bring your foot to the opposite leg. Whatever placement works. And maybe it's not the same as the other side. That's fine. Maybe you do the same thing with your arms, or maybe you try something different. This is my favorite. I fold my arms behind my back like this because this feels good in my back. Probably 3 years ago or so, there was a student in Cambridge, 6 a.m. in a school basement, one of the teachers at the school, and he did this with his arms. So I tried it, and I've done it every day since because it feels great. I guess Neil and I just have similar things going on in our backs. And different arm shapes can affect your back. Like sometimes you might find the bind steadying, or you might find it makes it trickier to stay up. You might find the arms outstretched make it easier. It's all just playing around, checking out the different choices. Bring your hands back to your heart if you're doing something else. Bring your knee forward, let your foot down, and shake as needed. Okay, that worked pretty well, so we'll try another balance. Starts the same way. And we'll get deeper into the hips on this one. We've done some nice warming up. I think it'll go well. Shift your weight from one leg to the other again. When you're ready, let the weight come into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. And then you change it. Cross your ankle above your left knee. And then turn your right knee down towards the floor. And flex your right toes up towards your shin. And then imagine you're going to sit down on a bench behind you with your legs crossed. Release in the front of your left hip, back of your left knee, front of your left ankle, hands pressing together and pressing to your sternum. Take your time, spine stays long. Keep breathing. Think about your elbows approaching your right knee and right ankle. And maybe they connect, maybe they don't. When they do connect, it helps steady you. So it's nice when you get there, but don't get hung up on getting there. It takes a while sometimes. And that is a more intense balance. Makes it hard to talk. Something else to play with. And yeah, when you start to fall out of it, it can get pretty fun to watch. I enjoy laughing at myself when I fall. When you do come down low, if you want, when you stand up, you can hold your leg with your arms. Whether you do this or not, inhale, straighten the other leg, and exhale, release. Shake it up. I find that is a neat sensation in this hip as you hold onto your leg as you stand up. It's neat. Plus, it's a fun visual. It looks like you just sort of disconnected your leg. Party trick yoga. Bring your hands back to your heart. Shift back and forth. Do the last balance, and then we'll sit down in this and do it. Drop the weight into your right leg when you're ready. Then pick up your left knee. Cross your ankle above your right knee. Dial your left knee down towards the floor. Flex your left toes up towards your shin. Pressing your hands together into your sternum. Start to find your seat. Take your time. Keep breathing. Just exploring, playing around, seeing how it goes. Maybe this side's easier. Maybe the other side is easier. Maybe you can't tell, and that's okay too. Natural to note these differences. You don't have to make one side be the same as the other. And some people get deep into this and they'll reach down and grab the ankle or the shin on the standing leg and play around with other expressions or touch their fingertips down to the floor. Notice I'm only talking about it. I'm not doing any of these things. because I can't very much. I've had some amazing students over the years, many of whom have been doing this way longer than I have. They do all kinds of stuff I can't. It's a beautiful thing. When you're ready, inhale, slowly stand, uncross, release, never say gracefully, shake it out. And never do say gracefully unless it's in quotes like that. Let's have a seat. That's a relief. Yes, and have a drink is good. Good idea. Standing on one leg warms us up. It raises the temperature. Some forward folds. Extend your legs forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your legs. And if your knees want to bend, let them bend. Explore with your breath, deepening the fold. As you inhale, think of reaching forward with the crown of your head. As you exhale, think of your head lowering towards your legs. Inhaling, slowly walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit up. Let your arms help your legs open. And letting your arms help your legs, bend your right leg, bring your right foot over by your left thigh. So maybe in tree you wanted to get your foot on your thigh and you couldn't. Now you can get your foot on your thigh. Turn your chest towards your left foot and flex that left foot back towards you. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your left leg. Again, explore with your breath. Inhale, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, maybe your head lowers some more. Maybe these are just thoughts. Maybe you don't even notice a movement. But maybe you just feel a little more release, even with that thought, even if there's no discernible movement. We'll explore some more here. Slowly bring your right hand in the center. Reach it out to the side. And we're going to do a bind here. So turn your hand. Turn your thumb down and your palm back. And then fold your lower arm across your lower back. And think of your right shoulder being drawn back. Open your heart towards the sky. So as if there's a hand just gently right here, nudging your shoulder. Extend this arm again, undo that rotation, reach it up towards the ceiling, over your head and towards your left foot. This helps undo compression in the center of your low back, right above your sacrum, a spot that gets compressed when we sit a lot. And reach your arm up and out to the right. Bring it back through center and back over by your left hand. Walk your hands up your left leg. Let your arms help your legs. Extend the right leg. And bend the left. Bring the foot across. Pivot your chest. Flex your right foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. A few breaths exploring, maybe deepening the fold before we play around with moving the left arm some. Draw your left hand in towards your heart. Reach it out to the side. Rotate your palm back and fold your arm across your low back. Left shoulder peeling back, opening the heart. Undo the bind, reach your arm out to the side. Undo the rotation, thumb up. Reach your arm up and over towards your right foot. Breathe into the center of your low back. And nice and slowly let your arm track up, out to the left, cross your body, and over to the right, and walk your hands up the front of your right leg. Use your arms to extend your left leg, and nudge your legs back in towards each other. And bring the soles of your feet together, as we did at the start of practice today, with a good distance between your heels and your pelvis. So feet as far away from your body as they can be and still have the soles together. If you can, slide your hands under your ankles and grab the floor. If that doesn't quite work for you, reaching over your ankles, grabbing the floor is another option. And walk your hands forward. So we use traction in the arms to get some more release in the low back. Make yourself into sort of a pretzel here. And to be sure to include the neck. The neck is part of your spine. Let the neck release and your head drop towards the floor. Breathe into your low back. Slowly start to walk your hands back, pressing into the floor to sit up again. Keeping the soles of your feet together, now bring them in as close as you can. Heels in towards your pelvis. Interlace your fingers and grab the tops of your toes. And then wriggle on your seat. Let the bones in your seat get closer to the ground. And tilt your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward with a long spine. So think of keeping your spine nice and long. See how far that will come down. And when the long spine stops coming down, then let the neck go and let your head drop towards the floor and breathe into your hips. And now slowly sit yourself up. Let your arms help your legs. Bring your hands outside your knees. Nudge your knees towards each other. Soles of the feet come to the mat. Plant your hands out past your hips. Wiggle your feet further apart. If you're on a mat lengthwise, it might be like the width of the mat, like wider than the shoulders somewhere. And let your knees just drift back and forth. I keep spinning myself back and forth to give different views. You don't have to do that when I do. You're welcome to, but you don't have to. All right, time to lie down. But before we do, we'll set the feet hip width apart. So some genius, I don't know who, figured out that your fists next to each other like this is the same distance apart as your hip sockets are. And so we want to set the feet that far apart. So bring your fists like this in between the tops of your feet. Set the feet that far apart. Keep the feet there. Then you bring your hands behind you. You're going to lower On your back, scoot your butt towards your heels. You want to end up with your butt as close to your heels as you can, or your heels as close to your butt as you can, however you want to look at that. Maybe you come onto your back and then scoot your heels in. Reach your hands towards your feet. And maybe you can touch your heels. It's okay if you can't. Just get them in as close as you can. Pressing into the soles of your feet. Inhale to lift your hips towards the ceiling. And there's bridge pose. To take it further, you might wriggle your shoulder blades in towards each other. And clasp your hands. And reach your knuckles towards your heels. And try not to scrunch up your neck. Sometimes we scrunch our necks up here. It doesn't help. It's just something we do. Let your neck be relaxed whether you're binding your hands or not. It can be helpful to think of your knees tracking forward towards your toes, keeping knees lined up with the ankles and hips. And we know the ankles and hips are lined up because we set our feet hips width apart. If you're clasping your hands, unclasp them. Exhale, slowly let your hips down. And take a minute to explore bridge on your own. So the basic movement is inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. And you can explore options. You can make it more challenging by moving more slowly, or going higher, or taking extra breaths at the top, or even repeating the wriggling shoulder blades together, clasping hands, reaching knuckles towards heels. And if what you need right now is extra breaths at the bottom of the movement, instead of at the top of the movement, take extra breaths on the ground. See if you can let the movement and the breath be continuous and smooth. A few more rounds of breath here, playing with bridge. And let the next exhale down be the last one. Pause for a couple of breaths after you land. Now we took our twist at the beginning, our supine twist, with our ankles crossed over our knee. We'll try now knee over your knee. So cross your left knee over your right knee. And if you can't do that, it's okay. Cross your ankle over your knee again, that's fine. Reach your arms out to the sides like we did before. Let your legs go to the right and turn your head to the left and keep your shoulders on the ground. And as with the other twist, don't worry about how far the legs go. Breathe into your twist. See what happens. Nice and slowly, bring your knees and your head back to center. And switch the cross of your legs. Right knee over left knee. Let your legs go to the left and turn your head to the right. Slowly bring it all back to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Hug your knees and explore rocking and rolling on your back, massaging it against the floor. Reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Reach your hands up, grab your legs or your feet, wherever you want to grab, and play with bending and straightening your limbs, exploring movement in happy baby pose. There's no wrong way to explore. Whatever movement feels good for you. If there's a different inversion you'd rather do, go for it. Invert however you like. And invert for as long as you like. When you feel complete with that, you can make your way to Shavasana or an alternate resting pose if standard Shavasana is not for you today. Extend your legs out, let your feet splay apart, let your hands rest by your hips, and close your eyes. But it's more important to be comfortable than to be in this specific posture. So if this isn't comfortable, please make yourself comfortable. And maybe you focus on your breathing. Maybe you come back to an intention you'd set for yourself to reflect upon it. Or maybe you just set your mind adrift. And sometimes I like to share a little reading in Shavasana. And of course, you're welcome to tune me out and focus on whatever you're already focusing on. Or focusing on not focusing. The setting the mind adrift option. Today, try this. If you feel sad or afraid or feel a tension in your body, just for a moment, stop trying to let go. Forget about raising your vibration too. Instead, simply be with the discomfort. Get curious about it. Soften around it. Breathe into it. Give it space, room, some time. Forget about understanding, releasing, or fixing it today. And just allow it to be here for as long as it needs to be here. Let it go if it wants to go. Let it stay if it wants to stay. Let it come back if it wants to come back. Treat it like a welcome guest in the vast rest home of your being. A beloved child that truly belongs. Start to find some deeper breaths. Invite small movements back to your body, bit by bit. Allow your movements to gradually grow bigger. Moving mindfully and gently. Set yourself up as you're ready. And bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing practice today. The light within me sees, honors and bows to that same light within you. Namaste. And I want to remind anyone watching to visit our digital tip jars at urbanyoga.org or at the Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center Facebook page. There's information for PayPal and Venmo, so you can contribute to our teaching efforts during this time.